Hopkins in East Baltimore, there's always construction going on, and you see welders up there and sparks flying. And because things were tight for us financially, to put it mildly, he would often talk about getting a real job. And on some days he'd wonder, am I really doing any good here? And I'm going to go out and get a real job. And then somebody comes in crying, it's the end of the day, and doesn't know where to go. And there would not have been any place else to go. And then he realizes, this is where I belong. And it's not about the money. And it's not about providing for his family, so to speak. This has become his family. My name is Rita Fayol, and I'm the program coordinator here at Meet Me Halfway Village Center. I grew up in Maryland, in Baltimore, and after raising a family, I went to Community College of Baltimore and then University of Baltimore. 13 years ago, we've been married now for about 8.5 years, and a coworker of his decided to set us up on a blind date. And he was working at Bethlehem Steel, the shipyard. He's a welder, and he builds ships, and that's all he had ever done. That's all he ever wanted to do. So when they shut down after he had been there for 27 years, and he didn't have 30 years, he wasn't quite 50, it was devastating for him. So he spent some time trying to figure out what he was going to do next, who he really was. Once he came and found that the kids talked with him, at first he didn't have a location, and he would just talk with them wherever he could. He said he did conflict resolutions under the stairs. He would take them to the cafeteria and buy them a juice and just sit and talk with them and let them unwind. And to this day, he says 90% of what we do is listen, because that's what doesn't happen. Kids don't have people to listen to them. With the principal's observations, we know that one aspect that was missing from the children's lives was the hands-on component. So originally we came here to bring trades, but once we met the children, there were so many emotional and social issues that we just kind of got stuck right there, helping to make the kids whole so that they could be able to appreciate whatever it was that we were able to bring to the school. And right now, that is what Meet Me Halfway has been about, helping to make the children whole. Sometimes, educators feel like the most important thing is for you to get your education. You got to come to class, you got to do your work. It is so hard to go to class if something has happened at home last night. We have children who have been molested. We have children who may not have utilities at home, who didn't have breakfast this morning, who may not have had a parent at home last night. Sometimes kids come in without uniform, and sometimes it's defiance, and they just chose to wear something else. Sometimes there was not a way to wash that uniform last night, or they didn't stay at home last night. There can be so many other underlying things that are going on in the child's life. Sometimes they have been yelled at their entire life. And one girl in particular comes to mind. She came down and she said, my mother was yelling at me all morning long before I left home. And just having her down to talk it over and to find out what's going on. And then you go to mom and you say, did you know this was going on with her? And she doesn't know, because she's so busy trying to get food on the table. She thought she thought she was meeting the need. So it's just a matter of bringing that family together. And one of the things I hear Bernard say, listen to your child. Just stop and sit down. Listen to what she has to say. They refer students down. They'll slip us a little note, and they'll say, I think something's going on with the family. You have any food in the pantry? Is there any money to get uniforms for this person? Whatever the need is, that's what makes the child whole. Because sometimes, even though you're only 11 or 12, the most important thing in your life is not those classes upstairs. There's some other issues that have to be dealt with before you even care about who Martin Luther King was, who died 40 years ago. You've got to deal with those issues that are happening right now. I'm hungry right now.
My name is Bernard Fayol, and I'm director of Meet Me Halfway. So I came to Garrison Middle with the intention of thinking that school was the way it was 30 years ago. I found out within a couple of minutes it wasn't so. The dynamics has changed. Kids are facing new challenges that we have never went through when I was a kid. For instance, I came from a strong family home with both parents there. Half of these kids, or even more, are being raised by single family parent, and that brings on its own dynamics and challenges. So I got involved. I came to the school. I started volunteering one day, and that was almost 5 years ago, and I'm still here. To me, I understand it's bigger than that, but each time I tried to leave and tried to find employment to get more money, so situations like this come up with children, then I realized that it's bigger than me. Somebody has to make the difference in these children's life, because if Meet Me Halfway was not here, then where would they go? You know, when me and my wife drive down the street in this neighborhood, kids are, hey, Mr. Fayal. We can be down the street, all the way down the street, somebody saying, hey, Mr. Fayal. That's rewarding to me, because they know that I am part of them. I am where they're at. I'm watching them grow.
We do believe that there is a Bernard in every neighborhood. But he has recently told me the reason it took him so long to come is because he only has a high school diploma. He doesn't have a degree for working with children. He's a welder. And that's what he's always said. I don't do plumbing, I don't do carpentry, I'm a welder, I build ships, and that's it. Kids don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. They know that he cares. He will advocate for them to the nth degree, and they know it with their parents, with their teachers, with administrators, and he shows them how to do it in a respectful way. It's not just about, I couldn't care less about credentials. Where's your heart?